What up? We should be live. Let's see here. Let's do a little refresher-roo. Come on. Come on. Refresh. What's going on here? There we go. What's in that box? What's up, buddy? I'm sure you're probably not here anymore. You're prepping dinner, so you won't catch the live. All good, dude. I appreciate you stopping in. I'm sure you're not here right now. Let's see. Wait for it to load up a little bit. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I don't know if anybody's here yet. Let's see. Let me know how the audio sounds. I have my fans on right now. And sorry, it might be blown out from the color giggity back there. I have my garage door open at the moment. Hunter, what's up, buddy? You get my email? I played the beta last night. I played like four rounds. I got early access, so I tried it out. It's open to everybody today. Yeah, I think I emailed you back a couple days after. So everybody up to, man? I figure we'll talk about some 6S stuff. You're not even home? Yeah, it's open to everybody this weekend. I think next weekend too. Let's see. Oh. God. Like I said, I want to talk about some 6S rig stuff and just like 6S in general. Let's see. There we go. Now we're starting to fill up a little. You got my email? Yeah. You'll probably have to add me like through the game itself, I think. And if you want to chat while we do that, you got to get Discord on your PlayStation. But yeah, let's I want to talk about some 6S stuff. Because as you guys know, I'm big into like the bigger 8S things and two strokes and stuff. But I feel like 6S is a solid in between for sure. It's yeah, I think 6S is like a really good power to weight ratio, especially like these new 6S's coming out. Pretty sick. You see what Typhon, dude, the Typhon's nasty. I like my Typhon a lot. I actually need to put a new ESC in that because it keeps blowing up my servos. It keeps overvolting my servos. So that ESC went out. Which honestly, I think I'm going to get a Spectrum, their Black's ESC. Because, like I said, whatever they're doing to that ESC, it's tuned really nice, the new ones. Bob, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I figure we'll talk. I don't know what you guys, let me know what you guys are doing this weekend. I'm curious. I want to chat some 6S stuff. I really feel 6S is a good middle ground between like 3, 4S, and the whole blown up 8S. Like that 6S, like the power to weight ratio is really, really good, man. And that Typhon I got is like the only buggy I have that, yeah, it flies like a buggy, but you can backflip it if you want to. It's insane. It's a nasty little rig, man. I really want to run that again, but again, I got to get an ESC for it. Did you see the new Quake? Yeah, I seen the new Quake. I know it's 2S, 3S, but it looks cool. Yeah, it's definitely like a good entry level. I don't mean that in a bad way by any means, say entry level, but it's a solid like little truck. You know, it's 2-wheel drive, but saves on the cost. Um, Definitely a cool little rig, especially if you're trying to get your kids or like your significant other involved. Like it's something that won't break the bank, but it's still hobby grade. Definitely a cool little rig for sure. I think it looks like the looks department. I think they could do a little better, but like overall, it's definitely a cool little rig. Because I got the email when it came out. I took a look at it. It's pretty cool. What are you getting into this weekend, Bob? I want to. I'm gonna grab the Notorious and the Creighton off the shelf. But I also need to cut my grass at some point today so I can actually run these things. Because all this rain we've been getting, my grass has been growing like nuts. Because I want to do that comparison video. Chris, what's up, buddy? If you're just joining, we're just talking RC, but we're talking like 6S, like how I feel like it's a good in between. Like if you're going from a 4S rig to a 6S rig, that's a pretty decent difference. Like you go for 3 to 4, it's okay, but that 4 to 6 is a pretty solid jump. You saw a Typhon 6S in Facebook Marketplace for 290. Hell yeah, dude. Which one is it? Is it the TLR one or was it the regular one? I had the TLR one. I have the M2C chassis on there though, because I finally messed the chassis up, a regular one. But yeah, I finally messed the chassis up. It took a beating though. If you watch some of the old videos of it, I had like even at the Dirty Jersey when I had that get together, absolutely launched that thing. And it's more designed for racing, but dude, that thing it takes a beating, man. That's a fun truck to run. Anybody in here have 6S rigs? Because I got how many? I got the E Revo, I got the Typhon, I got the Notorious V6 and the Creighton EXB V6. So yeah, I got 4 6S rigs. You want the TLR? Yeah, the TLR is definitely. I'm a big fan of it. The roller was on sale for a really good price, I think. Because I got the roller version when it first launched. I like pre-ordered it, but now they have the RTR version that comes with everything. You have your XRT and your Crane 6S EXP. Yeah, Hunter, you're the one that had the diff issue, right? Did you get that fixed? Did you finally get a hold of them? Looked like the EXP because of the red. The shocks are red and aluminum shock caps. Yeah, I got you. Well, the XRT, the big one, that's 8S. You can run it on 6S. I don't think I ever ran it on 6S though. I did have all my rigs. Like if it's rated from like 4 to 6S. I always run it on the max. It's just something I do. They still haven't gotten back to you. It sucks, Hunter. It's nuts, honestly. Yeah, that's damn. And you sent an email and everything? But yeah, I'm really digging the 6S line. Again, I'm more of a big scale guy. But that 6S is such a sweet spot, dude. April 10th, damn, dude. Let me I'm gonna get the Notorious and Creighton out here. We'll talk about them a little bit. The diffs are $100. Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, so obviously this is my Creighton, the V6. This is my Notorious. I did these clipless bodies. I've been having like okay luck with them. The let's see. I noticed that the front on my Creighton tends to stick like this. There we go. I think part of that is because if you look, so that because where I run is real sandy, so it kind of gets all gunked up. So I have to clean this out pretty often. What's up, Oscar? And then with my Notorious, I actually had gotten a crack here and here on the body. And it was every time I pushed the clip down, it would move the whole clip body. So I couldn't get it off. So underneath here, see how much easier that was to take off the Notorious? So what I did here was I reinforced it with 2 zip ties here and here. So on the bottom here, if you notice, I drilled a hole here and here and put zip ties to hold that up. And now it prevents that whole mechanism from moving. And it comes off way easier than Creighton does. So I'm going to do the same thing for Creighton. I feel like they should put bolts here or something to support that a little better. But overall, it's pretty easy to take off. The Notorious body has never popped on me. The Creighton has on the front. It came unclipped once, but not too bad. The Notorious, I think, is sick. They're both really, really good for different reasons. The Notorious is a little more my drive style. It's a little more flippy. It's a little harder to control in the sense that like you have to have a lot of good trigger discipline because if you just get on it, it's going to flip over. Um, the Creighton being longer and stuff, not that much. You still need trigger control, but it's a little more controllable just because it is a little longer. But my drive style, the Notorious. But like I said, they're both good at different things. That's why I'm going to do that video to compare them to. They do have the same powertrain. They're both bone stock as well. Knock on wood, I know like Hunter and a few people have had diff issues with these two trucks. I haven't had any. And I have quite a few packs through these and landing on throttle by accident every once in a while and stuff. Still no issue. So I think they had a bad batch of metal come through. Other than that, did I break anything on these? On the Notorious, I think I broke an arm, but that was a bad landing. I think it was like one of the first times I ran it. I was just getting used to it. And again, this is real punchy. So like it takes a bit to get used to it. But once you get the trigger control down with the Notorious, it's sick. Again, the Creighton's a little easier to control. It's more of a flat flyer. You can backflip it and stuff. But if you want it to rotate on a dime and do quads and stuff, Notorious is the way to go because it's a stunt truck. So stunt truck, you can do stunts, but not consider it a stunt truck, if you know what I mean. The new Basher kit from Techno, 1/8 MT kit. Yeah, I gotta check that out. And in both these rigs, I've been running one Ovonic 6S pack, 6,000 mile, 120C. I got these on sale when they were on sale on Amazon. These have actually been doing really well. They charge nicely. They hold a charge real even. They balance really nice. I can't really complain about these packs. I haven't had any issues with them really. The MT 2.0, I think. Yeah, I gotta check that out. We'll check that out when we're done here. We'll pull it up. Because you know me, I love building me some kits. And again, these are running the same electronics. Again, I don't know what they did with these ESCs, and I'm not being a shill for their company because their original ESCs I used to swap out just like I do with the Traxxas. But they did something with these new black ones that they're like tuned really well, and you can tune them if you want, but out of the box they're really, really good. I did notice that when let me do this. When I took this out of the box, the fan wire was literally resting on the pinion gear. So that's something on both. That's something you're going to watch if you get one of these. You're going to have to zip tie that out of the way or something like that because you're going to rip the fan wire off. Notorious. Yeah, they're completely different though, Hunter. Like the Typhon is a buggy, so it handles like a buggy. So it all depends on what you want to do. But they're both really good rigs. Again, this is the EXB version, so it's got the fancier as aluminum bulkheads front and rear, 7075 shock towers, the 7075 chassis, different the aluminum holder for the center, a lot of tweaks compared to the older EXB as well. I haven't had an issue with this. I can't think. Did I break anything on here? I think I might have broke a shock end. But other than that, she's been holding up really well. Knock on wood, again, the diffs have been holding. But I have to say, for the Notorious not being an EXB, the only issue I had was this right here. besides breaking an arm, but that was just me, was the steering link here. See how it's bent? So I wasn't getting full throw on the servo, and it's plastic. And I don't know if they make this piece in aluminum, but I had a small linkage from a two-stroke that fit. So I did put it on the Notorious, and obviously now it won't bend because it's metal. So that's definitely something you might want to look out for. Because if you're not getting full throw, because if in my videos, even I'm like, I'm not getting full throw on my servo, and that was why, because this was bent. So I feel like that's something they should either put on the truck or give you an option. Because I have the same one on the EXB. It's plastic, and I'm not getting full throw on the servo, and I really think it's because that's flexing. You have that problem too. The fan wire is loose. Yeah, you gotta. I noticed that right out of the box. I zip tied it out of the way. The Notorious came undone, so I'm gonna have to put that back here and zip tie it away from the gears. But yeah, that's definitely something I feel like they should make in metal because I'm just lucky I have all these parts laying around and had something that fit. But I have to say, the Notorious not being EXB with the aluminum shock towers and stuff, it's been holding up really well. I did bend the front shock tower, but if you watch that video, the hit it took to bend that sounded like a 22 long rifle going off. It went crack, and nothing broke. It just bent the crap out of the front shock tower. I got a stock replacement one. If I do it again, I'll get M2C. But I want to see like keeping it bone stock how long it'll last. And I had to hand it to it because when I heard that huge crack, like it literally sounded like a 22 long rifle going off. I could have swore I broke a bulkhead or something. And again, these are plastic bulkheads on here still. Nothing else broke. It just bent the shock tower, and like even the shock didn't bend. Um, I could have swore the bulkhead would have cracked, but it didn't. It was just the shock tower, which is honestly I have to hand it to it. That's impressive. You heard that? Yeah. Your hobby store has an EXP Notorious 6S2. Yeah, that's the old one though, isn't it? Because they don't make the Notorious EXP, the V6 one. I think that's the old one. I did have this normally the Notorious normally comes with a plastic chassis support in the front, but I had a spare aluminum one laying around from just having parts. So I actually did put that as aluminum. I haven't ran it with the aluminum one yet. I just had it laying around. It's not like it broke or nothing, but I put it on there just because I had it laying around. Other than that, like I said, other than that, just steering link on the Notorious I put to metal because I bet it bent. My steering was all off. And I just put that aluminum brace in the front just because I had it laying around. Other than that, it's bone stock. And the Creighton is 100% bone stock. There's nothing I added to this truck. Rob, what's up, buddy? Good morning, all. I'm new to the hobby. I purchased an XRT. So much fun. One issue I'm seeing, and it may not be an issue, is the front wheels seem to be loose. Do you mean like if you grab them like this and they're wobbly, or like loose in what way? Because I have an EXP over there on the shelf. When driving it, the front wheels seem to be shaking. Well, obvious first thing is to just check your wheel nuts, make sure they're nice and tight. And then hold on, let me grab my I'll grab my XR2. We'll take a little look at it for you. Mir, what's up, man? Yeah, because mine, there's a little play when you're sitting still, but it's not like the wobble. Everything is tight. I don't see any cracked or broken parts connecting to the wheels. Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate it, bud. Um, you can check. I would recommend checking your here. Let me see your steering link here. That's under here. If I can get it to show you this rod right here. Check to see if the ends on that rod are oblonged out, because them being plastic, they can stretch out, and they might be worn out. Yeah, there should be a little play. It shouldn't be like super tight, but you bumped it. Check your servo saver inside here. You might be super loose. So if you go, you're gonna have to pull the front of the truck off because it splits. You can pull the front off. I would check your servo saver under here, and down in here, check to make sure your steering link for your servo isn't oblonged out as well, because that can cause some play in the whole front end. So definitely, just take some time, pull the front end off, check your servo saver under here, because if this is not tight enough, you will get play. And again, don't mind the Spectrum motor in here. This is what I had laying around because KGM blew up the stock motor. I'm gonna toss the stock motor back in here once I get one. But I do have a Max 6 in here because I'm not a fan of the Traxxas ESCs. So this thing's a beast though. I definitely need a new tire though, because I blew up a rear tire. The steering servo has my next place to go. Yeah. Once you pull this front end off, check your steering servo and your servo saver right here. This servo saver just might be super loose because there's a spring in there, and how it works is like if you hit something, it kind of keeps it from ripping on the servo. And if that's loose, you're going to get a wobble. Wobble. So yeah, I would definitely check that front end there. So we're always here to help, man. So that's some troubleshooting you could definitely check out to see. Because like I said, mine really, there's some play. There should be some play, but not. You shouldn't have a wobble while you're driving. You can also check if you went through water or anything, your tires might be waterlogged. So if you have spare tires laying around, even for another truck, you can try different tires, because if these get water in them, and they won't ever come out. So if you're spinning and that centrifugal force pushes that water somewhere, you're going to get a wobble from it. No water. Would going to aluminum be better since I have it open? Aluminum what? I tend to leave a lot of the front end, me personally, I tend to leave the front end, a lot of it plastic, just to have weak points. Yeah, the J cons, gotcha. Yeah, you can check the bell crank as well. But yeah, don't be afraid. Just rip that front end apart and give it a look. I would really start with the servo saver. The link for the steering could be oblonged out. Again, something that small can make a difference. Can also be, did you try to recalibrate your controller? Because if you're using the stock controller, it has their ABC or whatever it's called to help you stay straight. If that's not set up right, it might be freaking out, and your gyro can be even doing that. You know what I mean? It could be a couple things. I've had some aftermarket steering components that are aluminum. Yeah, you could try those, but because I'm pretty sure they make the steering, the servo saver and aluminum stuff, but I have all mine plastic still, and I don't have that issue. So definitely just take your time and go over it. I really think check your link to your servo. That could be oblonged out. Something that small can make a big difference. And definitely check your saver for sure. You might that could just a couple turns on that and it could fix your issue. I'll use a knob on the controller, straighten the wheels. Yeah, but it has a gyro built in as well on the stock controllers. And if that's not calibrated correctly, that gyro could be freaking out. I forget what. Let me go into. Let me see here. Yeah, so if you have this controller, mine's on this device. I don't even know what I run this on anymore. But if you have this set, your multifunction, this is where you would control that gyro. So if that gyro is messed up, it could be freaking out. So you can either turn it all the way off to the left and just don't run with a gyro, which I don't run gyros on my bashers because when you're going through the air and doing flips and stuff, that gyro freaks out and your tires can move and stuff. So you can try to turn that off and just see if it helps. But and if that doesn't help, I would definitely check out your front end. Check the servo when I get home. Yeah, I would check a few things. Your servo, your link for your servo goes to the servo saver. The servo saver itself, again, check if you haven't checked your steering rods. I would check those too if those are oblonged out. Um, yeah, and just go from there, man. Troubleshoot a little at a time. And before you rip it apart, turn that gyro off and then run it and see if you still have the wobble, and then go from there. So that way you don't take it apart for no reason. Yeah, no problem, dude. All that info is in your manual as well, if you still have it. Um, but yeah, it could be the gyro even. And then you can reset or recalibrate it where it doesn't do that. Why don't you go home? But I love to take apart that my yeah, dude. They're fun to wrench on. See, I need a tire. But yeah, I'm gonna put this back to a stock motor on a Max 6 because I threw the Spectrum in here just because that's what I had laying around. Curtis, what's up, buddy? But yeah, I definitely I need to order those parts, but I priced them out last week, and it comes to like 200 something bucks. But I'm gonna go back to like I said, stock motor. I'm gonna get the aluminum motor mount, uh, and then put that basically back to stock and just run the Max 6 ESC because that Max 6 ESC in there is definitely nice. But yeah, I'm telling you, these 6S razors, you really can't go wrong with either one. It just It really just depends on what you want to do. Like what your goals are. I still think if you want a stunt truck and like crazy flips and stuff, takes a little bit to get used to. Once you do, notorious all day. If you want a flat flyer, really good handling, like tight turns and stuff, the Creighton is the way to go. You really can't go wrong with either one. It's depending on what I want to do for the day. I pick one. Obviously, not everybody has that luxury. So, but I'm telling you, for a 6S stunt truck, you can't beat the Notorious. If you want to do front flips, back flips, um, triples, I think it's just that short wheelbase with a lot of torque is just nuts. But if you still want to do like doubles and like a little more controllable to drive, Creighton. Yeah, exactly, Hunter. Yeah, Rob, we'll be live next Saturday. Let us know if you figured it out, if you hop back in here. Pleasure meeting you. I think it's the first time you've ever been in here. This is the first time. Well, welcome, dude. Much appreciated, man. Like I said, keep us updated to let us know your journey on figuring out the wobble. Because definitely good to know, You're on break and caught you in my feed. Well, appreciate you stopping in here, buddy. We're live every Saturday. I'll be posting videos on Sundays now. I used to post them on Saturdays. Yeah, we do everything. We do electric, we do two-stroke, we do nitro, 8S. I have two 12S rigs I built with Max 4 combos. Yeah, built a mini bike that goes 60 miles an hour. We do a little bit of everything. I try to jump in next week and update. Yeah, dude, definitely keep us posted, dude. Would be cool to know. And again, we can, if you determine it wasn't one of those things, we can try to troubleshoot some more. I don't claim to know everything. I'm just a fat guy that plays with toy cars, but we can figure it out. We'll get there. But yeah, these man, I tell you, I'm big into the big trucks, man, those 8S rigs. But there's something to be said about these 6S rigs, man. Really. I feel like the jump from a 4S to a 6S is a bigger jump than a 6S to an 8S, if you know what I mean. Because the weight and size of an 8S, like you still have crazy power and stuff, but it's not as punchy because there is more weight there. I love them both for different reasons, but I'm telling you that the sweet spot is that 6S, man. You'll love it. I sent my XR2 10 feet in the air, and it was awesome. Dude, do you remember? I don't know if you remember, Hunter, when I first got my XRT, me and Bernsey went to the launch at Hobbytown, bought them, opened them, and took them right to the pit and beat the snot out of them. Absolutely sent them like day one. Like I didn't even do an unboxing. I was like, all right, we're at the pit. Let's go. I just dropped batters in there and just absolutely beat the hell out of them. And they were getting absolutely launched 20, 30 feet, dude. It's a fun truck. I did snap the chassis in half once, but that's when I jumped and I landed on a curb from like 20 feet in the air. I hit the curb and split it. So no fault to the truck. That's just what happens. One thing I don't take into consideration when buying my XRT is the limited places I can run it. Yeah, that's an issue with some of the bigger rigs for sure. I'm lucky because of where I live now. I have my own property, and then where I used to live in the other state I used to live in, we used to go to a pit, and it's just wide open, huge hills and stuff. So like, I'm lucky in that sense. You don't have dirt pits to take it to. Just a couple schools I found. Take a skate parks. Yeah, dude, that's so fun as hell. There's also a pit around the corner from me now too. I could just drive my side by side too. Skate parks are good, but man, those hard landings. You're landing on concrete. Whew, that's because even at the pit, we used to launch them 20, 30 feet in the air. But yeah, you're hitting dirt. It was kind of hard, but it's nothing like hitting concrete, dude. Hitting concrete is definitely a whole different animal. I want to take these to the skate park around me, but a huge sign says no RC vehicles. So I'm gonna have to go there at like 5 a.m. before the people are out. Sneak in there. I'm kidding, or am I? I don't recommend that. But again, between these two, man, you really it's all about how you want to drive. It really is. And like I said, me personally, my drive style is more than notorious, but I still love the Creighton. What the landings, there's really only one ramp that's 8 foot tall, and I landed all five jumps flat on wheels. I was yeah, dude. The landings are yeah, absolutely. You're definitely chassis slapping. And I love when I do like big sends and stuff, and in the comments, people are like, "Oh, you're chassis slapping." I'm like, yeah, what do you expect? I'm falling from like 20, 30 feet in the air. Like, what it what do you want me to do? Catch it? Like, that's just what's gonna happen. I don't care how good your suspension is, you fall from that high, you're gonna chassis slap. And I'm notorious for hucking it to flat. So the ramp I built in my yard here, I just launch it off of there, and like you can hear my videos just whack. It's just what it is. Or my favorite, are like you're landing on throttle. 95% of the time, I'm not landing on throttle. Every once in a while, I do. You know, you try to get that last second fix of stuff, and you hit the ground and put the throttle on. We're not. I'm not an expert, man. Those comments are great though. Well, whatever. Catch it. This thing was take 280 pound man out. Yeah, 100%. Especially those big rigs, dude. I got hit. Me and my buddy KGM, we went to the pit and we were running our Outcast 8S. He has one and I have one, and we're just launching them and stuff. And I'm trying to get an angle for him for a camera, and it almost hit me in the face. And I dodged it, but then I ate shit and fell down a hill. I'd rather fall down a hill than take one of those rigs to the face, especially when you get to these fifth scales. Like my Outcast 8S, it's all decked out and M2C upgrades and stuff, dude. That thing is over 30 pounds. Like, and you got to think they're going 50, 60 miles an hour. I'm not getting hit with that. I'd rather it hit the ground and break than me have to go to the hospital and get my broken ribs all done and stuff. Nah, I'm good. I did hit my buddy addicted to RC with my old Creighton 6S by mistake. Yeah, your 6S. I mean your XRT hit your shin. Yeah, that sucks. When I first got my Outcast 8S when they first came out, in one of my first run videos, that I think it was my first pit video ever with that truck. I have an angle where at the very end of the video, you see me driving, and I go up a hill and jump right into my shin. Is there? You gotta honestly, like people think they're just toy cars, but these things are cooking, bro. 60, 70 miles an hour, 30 something pounds coming straight at you. It's you gotta be careful, man. Was it a Traxxas pin they put in? I'm not sure what you mean, Rob. Was it a Traxxas pin they put in? Sorry, but I'm not sure what you mean. A little smaller live this week. Oh, you're right. My bad, dude. But yeah, that's such a good hobby, man. I met a lot of good people doing this. Like my buddy KGM that literally comes and visits me at my house. I met him through YouTube. My one of my really good friends, Gus. I met him through YouTube. I dig to RC, Sergeant J, Burnsy. It's crazy. Every once in a while you get those trolls, but you know, if you're not getting trolls, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? I thought he meant he had to get a pin, but gotcha. I gotta get the tractor out today. I gotta dig out my fire pit a little bit. We had a lot of rain, so kind of washed my fire pit in a little bit. I gotta dig that out. I have a lot of boxes and stuff to burn. I am on vacation the last 10 days in August. My buddy Chris is gonna come down for a little bit. I think you guys might have seen him in a couple videos, like when him and my buddy Brian came to visit. We were building the track behind the shop. Um, and I had a picture of him holding a chainsaw or a quick video. I think it was a short. You meant at full speed? Yeah. Yeah, he hit his shin at full speed. Yeah, that's rough, dude. There was a horrific video of a dude doing a speed run with a car and he hit his leg and he had to go to the hospital. He literally almost took his leg off. Like for real. It was like, whoa, it's rough. You gotta be careful with these things, man. I know they're toy cars, but they're no joke, man. Especially even with lipos. Like there's a lot of power in these things. You gotta be semi sober to play with these things. All right, Rob, appreciate it, man. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. It'll let you know when I go live next week. Take these, Rob. It's a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, I hope you figured out that the issue you're having. I've driven my cars drunk. Yeah. RC cars, YouTube. RC cars, not real cars. Well, you can, if you watch some of my videos, you can see how it slowly progresses. My face slowly gets redder throughout the video. Because I'll start filming in the morning and then afternoon and then a little redder. And as the sun moves through the sky in the videos, you can kind of see my face kind of get redder. But yeah, it's been a small little lot. Not too many people today, but not too. I don't really look at those numbers. Just like talking to whoever shows up. 5 o'clock somewhere exactly. So yeah, I want to do the same mod to the Creighton body that I did to the Notorious because I don't know if you guys can see this, but like when you go to unclip it, like you see how the whole mechanism is lifted from the body down here. It kind of prevents it from you being able to push that all the way. So if you just put two zip ties, one here and one here, and keep it tight here, like you guys seen earlier when I took the Notorious off, no issue, and the Creighton kind of fought me. It's because it's separating from the body here. So they really need to figure out a way to either two screws or something to keep that tight there, and you won't have an issue because it's not so much an issue up here because there's a screw. Here, there's two screws here, but they should be further out. So I found just 2 zip ties there makes a huge difference. So if you're having that issue, I highly recommend doing this like I did on the Notorious. So you see the 2 zip ties there, and they go here and here, and it just prevents that from pulling away from the body, and it comes right off. I need to clean my cameras. Man, they're dirty. I'm rewatching what I'm doing, and man, my cameras are dirty. But yeah, honestly, you really can't go wrong with either one of these rigs. If you guys have, oh wait, we're supposed to look up the Techno MT10, I believe. Who was that? I take care of those body clips. Was it the MT? Hold on, we gotta scroll up. Where is it? Yeah, MT 2.0. No, I think it's a monster truck. It's a techno kit, I think. Sorry, I'm just looking it up right now. Well, that didn't show up anything. Let's see. Techno. There we go. Let's see. Here's the techno stuff. Uh oh. Did we freeze? No, I think we're live. Here it is, the MT48 2.0 Performance Monster Truck Kit. Let's see, Hyung. Let's I'm gonna share this screen and make sure none of my personal information's on here. Okay, let's see. Am I freezing for you guys? Yeah, here it is. The MT48 2.0 4x4 Performance Monster Truck Kit. So obviously you need servo, control, speed control, batteries, wheels. It doesn't come with wheels and tires. That's what bothers me. And you need a body. It doesn't come with a body. The thing looks sick. Would this be a 4S rig? Would you make this 4S? What is it? 22.2 volts. Is that a 6S? Yeah, that's 6S. I bet you had to be. Look at the stance on that thing. That's a wide. That looks wide, at least in the picture. That'd be a cool little 6S rig, dude. What do you guys think? It looks mean for the angle. Yeah, might have to acquire one of these. And it's a kit, which is cool. Racing spot. Yeah, that's what I noticed. Like that front end shot, it's almost like almost has a buggy stance. Like you see the angle of the shocks. It's almost like a kind of like a buggy geometry almost. I do like kits a lot. Dude, that thing's mean. Dude, I think it probably handles so good. Because they used to have Techno used to have the MT 410, right? That used to be a Techno. I guess they don't have that anymore. Question is, what tires would you run on that? Honestly, I'd run backflips on it. I know, surprise, surprise, but backflips are such good tires. I wonder if it just looks super wide because these are really wide tires normally. But dude, that stance is mean, dude. That thing probably handles so good. Just look at that angle of those shocks, dude. That I feel like when you go to drive this, it's really gonna turn. You know what I mean? It's not so much of a monster truck straight up and down. That thing probably handles like a dream. I hope whoever said we should look at this is still here. Who was it? Let's see, y'all. Bob. There we go. It was Bob. Bob, I hope you're still here, bud. Dude, I think sick, honestly. So you would need your servo, obviously. It's a kit. You need servo, ESC and motor. You would need tires and rims. Does it come with I wonder if it comes with diff fluid. Oh, you need a body too. That's the only thing. I wish it came with a body. I wonder what body that is on here. Because that honestly, I like the body that's on there. I wonder what that is. I'm not a fan of the tires because every time I've ran those tires, they've been okay. I actually have a bigger set for bigger rigs. It's just I'm not a fan of how these treads, at least for where I drive, they don't really do that well. They tend to spin a lot instead of grip. But again, that's just my environment. Definitely interesting. Sorry, Bob, if you're not here. I know we looked at it later. That was actually perfect for what we were talking about, the 6S rigs. We might have to end up with that. Honestly, I would probably run it on backflips though. I'm just such a fan because they're like what are they called? They're like it's almost like a Badland tread, and I feel like the Badland tread, it's such a good tread. Like these right here for the buggy, because I put these on my uh um Typhon. The Badland tread pattern is such a good bashing tire tread. It's nuts. It's such a good one. But they don't make them unmounted for some rigs anymore. So you had to buy them pre-mounted, and they don't make them for like A scale anymore, unless it's like a buggy and stuff. Then unless they re-release them, and you couldn't buy them unmounted anymore. So that's why I've been running backflips on a lot of things because it's a very similar tread pattern. But yeah, Badlands are my favorite tire, but a close second is these backflips because they're so similar. All right, where are we at? Yeah, we're over an hour. Well, I appreciate everybody who showed up. Again, it was a little smaller live today, but it's no big deal. You know, I like talking to whoever shows up. We made a new friend today. Rob came in here, chatted with us, tried to help him out with his XRT a little bit. Again, talking about 6S rigs. That that new techno is pretty sick. Damn, Bob, you just had to show me that, didn't you? But we're gonna end it like we always do. Wherever you are in the world, have a good morning, afternoon, or night, and we'll catch you next week, man. You take it easy.